If you have not heard of LaundroBoost, they are the premier marketing company for the laundromat industry.
Yep.
So we are at the Clean Show live booth 1067. So check us out.
And you guys, no stranger to the laundromat industry nowadays. You guys know Brett. You've been on the podcast 3 times now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So happy to be back live.
This is Brett's first Clean Show.
Yeah.
So those of you that this is your first Clean Show, he's a little overwhelmed from an exhibitor perspective, where you're maybe a little bit overwhelmed from walking around. But come and check out Brett. And by the way, the whole LaundroBoost team is here at the booth. So everybody is here. I think Sam's the only one that didn't make it, right?
Yeah. He wasn't able to make it.
Yeah.
He's got new kids.
So, so I know some of our customers know Sam really well. He couldn't make it, but the rest of the team is here. And we're going to have a couple of them join us in a little bit to talk about some of the things that we're doing at LaundroBoost.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Laundromat Millionaire Show, sponsored by HM Company at DrainTroughs.com.
How would you be able to do it any better than me?
We are going to come up with a plan to get you from where you are to where you want to be.
But marketing experts with the power of AI.
Yeah.
Let's talk about marketing.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, Brett, I know one of the big things with us is we really try to customize services to a laundromat owner's needs. What would you say if someone new came to you, they're brand new to the industry, they just got their first laundromat? What are some of our most popular services you would recommend?
Yeah. So first, what we would do is we want to understand like their business and where they're at, like their journey, right? Like you mentioned, for example, if it is a new laundromat owner, what services are you offering? If it's self-service, wash and fold, pick and delivery, commercial. So we try to get an understanding of like where they're at, because each individual service actually needs to be marketed differently, right? Like a wash and fold customer is different from a pickup and delivery. Self-service, very different from pickup and delivery.
Yeah.
So we have marketing solutions for each individual customer avatar, essentially. So based off that information that we're able to acquire, as well as like their location and maybe budget and so on, we're able to make like custom suggestions for that customer. So if you're doing self-service and wash and fold, we love Google, because most of the time, as long as you're showing up at the top, when someone searches things like laundromat near me, wash and fold, etc., and you have good reviews, quality photos, your profile's up to date, and we're putting you right at the top, you're going to be selected over your competition. There's something called the Google 3-pack, which is very important. So you'll see it anytime you do a Google search, where you'll see 3 businesses. You might see 4 because it'll be a sponsored ad. And if you're not in that pack, you're missing out on over 80% of the business, right? So we have to put you in that area, and that is like what we do best. So the way that we do that is, one, like I mentioned, the sponsored ad, we can go right to the top. We have amazing Google Ads team. We work with over 200 active owners, probably 400 laundromats at this point. So we've been able to collect all this data that our team runs off of and knows what works to get you ranking more often than your customers for less, right? Because you have to pay these platforms. So, but you want your money to go the farthest it possibly can. And that's exactly what we do on the Google ad front. Then what we have is our Google Business Optimization Service. We call it the Google Business Booster. And what that allows you to do is actually rank organically. So now not only are you having to add at the top, but you're actually ranking organically for these top keywords. And that could sometimes put you in like a 1 and 2 situation where you have an ad and then your business is also second. So now there's no room for your competitors on that first page. The cool thing about it is when we visited, or when I come to like your guys' events all the time in Cincinnati, and I was sitting at the hotel that was actually like right on the cusp, 5-mile radius away from your guys' location. And I searched laundromat near me. And of course, Queen City Laundry had an ad right on top. The second location right under it was a different location than the one that we were running an ad for. And then the third location was that same location that we had the ad, but it was ranking organically. So you guys dominated 3 out of the potential 4.
That happened because we use our own Google Business Booster.
Yeah. So you guys dominated. So like there was, not only was like their competition, like there was no room for competition. We dominated that area. And that is by far the most powerful thing that you can do when it comes to location-based services.
What do you want to talk about? We're gonna bring Eric, our sales manager, on in a little bit to talk about some of the customization. But before that, I do have a question about, there's a lot of marketing companies out there, but we are one of the few that only focus on the laundry industry.
Yeah.
Knowing the work that's done behind the scenes that's industry specific.
Yeah.
Can you speak to why that matters? Why should a laundromat go with a laundry specific provider?
Right.
And let me speak to this before Brett jumps in. Like what Brett's about to talk about is the reason we founded LaundroBoost, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't by accident. We didn't stumble upon this. What this was the result of me being in the industry for roughly 12 or 13 years, right? And floundering through 7 or 8 different marketing companies and having, in some cases, no success, in some cases, limited success, and in some cases, a little bit more than limited success. That was the best case scenario. And so when we, for those of you that aren't aware, when we launched LaundroBoost, a big part of me and Brett's conversation was around that we could be the guinea pig because we felt like Queen City Laundry was a really powerful brand and had really good reviews and had great pickup and delivery and our team and all the things that make Queen City Laundry great. The truth is, we didn't feel like we had, honestly, even average marketing. And so a big part of it was me testing Brett before we launched LaundroBoost and you showing us the results of some of that. And so I think it's important at some point in this live stream that we talk about the power of the combined elite marketing with an elite operations and a team. But the thing I want to point out right now is that this is why LaundroBoost was founded, right? Me and Brett sat down. He said, hey, I'd love to get more involved in the laundromat industry, learn more about it from you, Dave, get to know people in the industry, solve problems. And I said, not only is there a problem in the industry, but like we can just start with us because we feel like we have a rock star team and operations, but we don't have great marketing.
Yeah.
And we were able to accomplish some really impressive things in a matter of like 3 to 6 months. Yeah. And then another thing I want to point out before I let you talk is that if I let you talk, is that, the results of the things you're talking about are now 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
So like, can you also speak to the power of not just hiring a marketing company and not just hiring a marketing company and not just having a great operations, but the power of continuous marketing and how important that is. Because we see a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this in the past. You do marketing, you pay a company a couple $1,000s a month, they get limited results, but you didn't shoot through the roof like a rock, and then all of a sudden they turn it off.
Yeah.
Right. And how important it is to not turn it on and off. Yeah. Because we've been very consistent.
Yeah.
So now you can talk.
Yeah. There's basically, like two things there. So, when you're marketing these services, right? Like oftentimes, especially with these platforms, like they can be more expensive, right? So what you want to do is you want to remember that the actual profit is coming from like the recurring revenue, right? So we can get people through the door we know this, we're very confident in this for the best price available, right? But past that point, it's up to you guys, the business owners to actually make them come back. Like that is where you're going to start to see the return on your money. And what you need to do is those people in that first month that we're sending through that door, like we're getting you customers within the first couple of weeks. That's no questions asked, but you're not going to see that compounding into real growth on like revenue month over month until you start to see those things compound. So regardless of you getting new faces and new things, which are all great, and that's what we want to see, we need those people coming back. So that's why you say like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, because those people that you get 1, they're back in 2. Those people you get in 2 are back in 3, but so are the people back in 1. That's so on. And then it's compounding, and then you really start to see it make sense on the books. Yeah. And if you kind of give up ahead of time, like you might have just lost something that was actually working really well that you just didn't realize it yet, because it wasn't materializing into something that was like significantly enough to make sense for you, right? Another thing too is like with the platforms, like we're with you guys, like we were able to get like great results within like a few weeks, and we do that for like a lot of our clients, but every area is different. There's higher levels of competition. Some people spend way more money than you, or some people are just simply in like really dense areas, like California or like whatever it may be, like the big markets. So there is like that restraint, like you need to make sure that you, depending on where you are, like you're kind of equipped to do this. But we know what we can do because of people like you, who we were able to essentially test things on, find out what works. If you're going to be working with another marketing company that isn't in the industry, it's going to take them 2-3 months to even figure out how to market your services. And that was your money that was spent 2-3 months to figure it out.
And I would argue 2 or 3 months is on the low end.
Yeah.
I've seen marketing companies take 6-8 months that are working with me to like figure out the industry. And I'm like, I don't know. You're the marketing people.
And that's where the whole marketing doesn't work comes from.
That's right.
It's because it does work, but your marketing company was just trying to figure it out.
Yep.
And like maybe they never get there, you know. But with us, like we have so many active clients. We never work with clients in the same location because of the fact that we don't want to compete with ourselves. So we're able to share all this data through like not like actual sharing, but like share all this information that we acquire, the lessons that we learn, and everyone gets to benefit from it.
Yeah.
And that's why we can fast track you. And that's why you do see results within like the first few weeks. Sometimes we're with us those early stages.
Yeah.
Because we've skipped 2 or 3 months of figuring out how.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's powerful.
Let's talk about financing your next laundromat project for just a second. Whether you are purchasing an existing laundromat, building a new store, or just buying a small set of equipment, Eastern Funding has financing solutions to help you on your laundromat journey, just as they have me and Carla in the past. Eastern Funding has been financing laundromats since 1997, and they have helped thousands of owners get their deals done. They are specialists in the laundry space, and their combination of personalized service, expertise, and custom financing solutions makes them the premier lender in our industry. Learn more at easternfunding.com for your next project. Special thanks to the folks over at Eastern Funding for helping us to sponsor this episode of the Laundromat Millionaire Show. Now back to the show.
I want to pivot a little bit from what you said. 'Cause I think one thing is, I think it sounds bad, but sometimes people think that the marketing doesn't work, but it's not that the marketing's not working. It's that they're not retaining customers.
Yep.
And no matter how good your marketing is, if your facility, your processes, your customer service, if it doesn't matter how good the marketing is if you have not worked on your product, your service. So that's one thing. And you want to start with a good product or service and then market it. A marketing company can only do so much. And then what you talked about with having, the way I understand it, because I'm not a marketing person, so putting it into layman's terms for me, I think of all the companies we used before, and they were doing, Google ads and stuff for us. And now that I've started to learn a little bit from you, about keywords and all this other stuff, they were trying to figure out what keywords were in what market for this service. What do people search? And that's the difference.
Yeah.
With LaundroBoost. Yes. That is all we work with, our laundry industry clients. And so because of that, we know what works. We're not trying things out on you. And another thing I want to highlight is, notice Brett said that we only work with one company in a given market. We do not work with competing clients. So get over to LaundroBoost, 1067.
First come, first serve.
Yeah, we always say, right? We already have somebody in your market. We're not be able to help you. So be the first one here.
Okay, so in case you're wondering why this random stranger popped into the picture,
That's not my name tag. Random stranger.
it's okay. He's allowed to be here. Don't worry. Don't be alarmed. So this is Eric Jong, and Eric, introducing you to the industry. I know you've been with us for a while now. My understanding, and correct me if I misspeak, so my understanding is you founded another marketing company, correct? In another industry, had an exit, sold it, and then we have been blessed to have you come and join our team to have a founder that's already had a successful exit as our head of sales.
I think the blessing is the other way around.
Oh, well, maybe
I've been blessed to now work here.
Well, that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you. So you've been with us for over a year, right? Is that right?
Almost two, yeah.
Almost two. Yeah. So what has been your observation of entering? I mean, we are an existing company, but we were pretty new, right? So what do you think of the laundromat industry? And we do dry cleaning too, just so we're clear. What has been your observation of entering this industry? Because you have this outside perspective of being a marketing guy and a guru, right? And then you come into our industry and you're like, this is kind of crazy, right?
Mind-boggling.
In a bad way.
My flabbers have been guessed. Look at this place. What are we doing? There's robots folding laundry over here.
Yeah.
There's thousands of people walking around talking about laundry and dry cleaning and laundromat.
Yep. These are my people.
I didn't believe that this. We've been talking about this.
Yes.
You are an influencer in the laundry industry. That's not a thing.
Who knew?
But it is.
Yeah.
But no, so a very, very surprising to learn the depth of this. And that goes into, I'm going to sort of segue here. Let's continue on your questions, but like that goes into the market.
Yep.
Right. So as a marketing guy, professionally, corporate for many, many years, started my own agency. We built that up. We were chasing the money.
Yeah.
We were specializing in financial advisors and doctors and lawyers and doing lead gen and getting $5,000 to $10,000 a month from clients to do these big ticket things. That was that was how I was going to make my money. And I did.
Okay.
And things went really well, and it was fantastic. We were successful. We were able to sell it off. Had my exit. Kind of had an early retirement. Brett and Courtney, I worked with them for years. I mean, since I don't know, 5 or 6 years at least.
Yeah.
It just came into kind of one of those. I know you're bored, Eric.
Come work for us.
Well, yeah, kind of like but now I get to do what I like to do, which is not own the business. I did it well, and we were successful, and we sold.
And there's pros and cons to that. We all know that.
But now I get to work with a very well-ran business.
Yeah.
I like to always say with my own agency, my strength, what I brought to the table as an owner was the kind of drive and the ability to acquire and grow and scale.
Yeah.
But just like the laundromats, like you said, the retention is key. My processes and systems were not as well established as LaundroBoost is. And so now I get to come in and just do what I like to do and what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And you all have laid a very successful foundation of this business.
Yeah.
So let's grow.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, we are honored to have you on the team.
Well, thank
You are an absolute rock star.
But like having this is where I was going with that was like the industry specific knowledge, right? So with my agency, and I still believe this plain and simple, that marketing is marketing is marketing.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's a reality.
Yep.
And to your point of the tactics, LaundroBoost, and I'll be the first to say this. I'm looking right at you, right?
Yep.
Look, we don't do anything different than any other company can do. In fact, any marketing company is not doing anything that you cannot do on your own.
Agreed. Yep.
Right. There
We
is
say that all the time.
There is nothing. There is no secret. About it. Right. Now, what I like to tell people on the phone, right, is in the same way. Look, we don't do anything different than you can do on your own. In the same way that a mechanic doesn't do anything different than you can do. You can, Carla. You can go rebuild a transmission.
I
Well,
can barely drive my car.
let's get but not the best analogy.
But you could. You have the
Right
physical
knowledge.
dexterity. You can download a YouTube. You can go to AutoZone. You can go to an auto parts store, buy the equipment. You could do that. I could replace my own roof. I could do my own surgery. No, not recommended. But you know what I mean, right? We're not doing anything different. We are just better at it. There's a reason that you go to a mechanic to replace the transmission. Because they know what they're doing. And even then, there's a reason you go to a European mechanic to replace the transmission on your Volkswagen. Right? We are that specialist in the laundry marketing space. You could go to any marketer and they'll run Google Ads. That's the thing. You can run your own Google Ads. Anyone can run your Google Ads. Your 14-year-old can run your Google Ads. We just know what we're doing better than anybody else in the laundry space.
And I think a big part of that is because of ours and Brett's and the team's intentionality, right? Brett, we have people all the time that come to you, and I even have people come to me in other industries. And they're like, "Oh, you own a marketing company? Well, can you market for my rug cleaning?" Like, well, we could, but we won't. He's like, "What do you mean? Why not?" Well, because it's not what we do. But we could, and I just tell them we don't want to get distracted. The truth is, once again, having gone through 6 or 7 marketing companies before founding LaundroBoost, the truth is I saw the pitfalls of that. And it is tempting to be like, hey, anybody that'll pay me.
Marketing is
I'll do
marketing.
You know, but the truth is you have to be honest with them, be like, oh, we're going to have to A/B test this. And you're our first roller skating rink, right? Or whatever. So could you do it? Sure. Just like somebody that entered the laundromat industry could do their own digital marketing. But Are you an expert at it, or do you want to hire an expert and then you be an expert at what I recommend, which is the operations of the business? Because by the way, if you're not an expert at the operations, what we're doing probably isn't going to be very effective.
And if you want to be a business owner that's scaling their business,
Yeah, for sure.
you want to wear less hats, not more. Like the more you can essentially optimize your business and pass along tasks to like whoever it may be, like within your industry or an outside source or a third party business, like you need to do those things to scale. Because if you're just going to be running a laundromat and decide tomorrow, like, oh, I'm also going to be a marketing professional, you're going to be mediocre at best at both of those things.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? The people who have the biggest business and most successful business in the world have the best people in the world.
Yes.
And those people don't nowadays, especially, don't need to be on payroll. They don't need to be inside your building. They don't need to be anywhere. They can be anywhere in the world as long as they're the best at what they do. And that's kind of like what we like to provide. It's like we're just straight up just laundry specific marketing company here to tackle anything that you have on the laundry front to make sure that that's one less thing that you need to worry about as a business owner. That's actually going to help your business grow. You know, there's a lot of things that you do that don't help your business grow, but you still pay money for it. This is something that actually, you know,
It pays for
itself.
Whether you already have a laundromat or are looking to get into the laundry industry, everyone needs proper drainage. We use HM Company drain troughs. Their drain troughs were first created in 1991, and they have been the leading drain trough manufacturer ever since. They're made in the USA, and their drain troughs are fully customizable to meet your needs. That's why we've used them ever since entering the industry. They're easy to clean for our staff and plenty sturdy when we need to walk on them when servicing our washers. With the ability to span up to 25 feet, our troughs rarely need to be connected together, creating an easy installation. Want to slope your trough like we do? No problem. Just let the experts at HM Company know. For more information, go to their website at draintroughs.com. That is draintroughs.com. HM Company Drain Troughs. They've been leading the industry since 1991. Check them out today.
When our team is running campaigns, I would think the ability to be agile and have a quick response with a confidence level associated with that would be a pretty powerful thing in being, I'm going to use the word, being responsible with the client's investment of their ad spend.
Yeah, absolutely. So like we have like real people behind the scenes sitting on accounts every single day. They have checklists, go through every single account, check in, make sure things are going appropriately and actually running correctly. They're making daily adjustments in there, things like bid structures, or maybe they're switching keywords in, keywords out, noticing things that are trending in the right direction, paying a little bit more money on that because it's working. Because although like we do have a lot of similar systems for every single one of these industries, locations can often be different, which will affect search volume and certain price and whatever it may be. So those are all things that really need a close eye on. There are Google ads, but you can set it, forget it, sign up with Google, you know, like Eric said, but like you're not going to get the same return as if you have someone who knows what they're doing.
I've done that and it was not a good experience.
And one other,
And if something is working, do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what's working?
Great point.
And if it starts working, you know, because like, oh, well, you know, you hear this all the time. We're like, oh yeah, I spent a couple $100s on Google and I made 1,000. And you're like, great, what did you do? And they go, I don't know.
Then you can't repeat it.
Right.
There's
So
no
then
point,
what
right?
worked?
Yeah.
Or when it
Can't do it over
stops
again.
working, because any ad campaign is going to plateau.
Yep.
Right. So when it stops working, what do you do to fix it?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you duplicate the higher performing ad set? Remove the lower performing? Are we going to try a different targeting with a different copy, with a different creative?
Yep.
And do this and that. But again, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah. And then one other point too is like they're talking back to like the team, right? Like the people that we have running your ads and our clients' ads,
That's sort of bad.
as individual laundromat owner, could not afford them to run their ads individually because it's just wouldn't make sense for that person. They're just too talented to be a single account. So if you're searching for that one individual out there to try to do this, and you want the best of the best, the only reason that we're able to actually retain the talent and afford the talent even is because we have so many accounts, or these individuals would not be interested in working with us because they would find something else to do, some other industry to make way more money.
Well, and to give people an analogy, you've heard the term fractional CFO, fractional this, fractional that, right? Well, how many laundromat owners can afford their own CFO? Very few, right? And if they do, they probably have multiple hundred stores, right? And hundreds of millions of dollars in volume in a very large market, right? But you could hire a fractional CFO who takes his or her 40 hours of a work week and says, I'll give you an hour of my 40 for X. You get the same level of expertise. You just only get an hour. And if you get to the point where you need an hour and a half, then you buy an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever. That's kind of what we're doing. We're migrating those things together. And I just wanted to point that out because I don't like to take anything for granted. We all know that. But I think a lot of times people don't understand how we're able to get, or if we're able to get better results. How would you be able to do it any better than me? Well, I clicked on the ad just like you clicked on the ad. I looked at the ad just like you looked at the ad. Okay, well, Eric may have 20 years experience looking at ads. So do you have 20 years at all?
Yeah. No, it's amazing, honestly. I think like it's just to speak to like us and like everything that's like since we started.
Yeah.
Like how far we've really come and like how much we've grown, but like also like bringing out people like Eric and like what we've done with like our team. Like the only two things that matter are talent and customer service.
Yeah.
That's all we care about. Is like if you're talented, you're a good person, and you have you provide great customer service.
Yep.
We want you at LaundroBoost.
Yeah.
And we're not really accepting anything else, like nothing less, because we feel like our clients deserve at least that. And if we can't stamp it, then we don't want it,
And do I say this? Are we live?
Yep. We say anything.
We want our clients.
Yeah.
We hold our clients to that state.
Great point.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not gonna, we're gonna do what we are good at.
Yep.
But I heard you say it before I came on. You need to do your job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would rather not take you on as a client than take you on in faith.
Yes.
Because we got 200 people.
Yep.
We got 200 brand new people to walk into your door this month.
Yep.
And not a single one of them came back.
Yep.
Because your place is dirty.
Yep.
And you were rude.
Yep.
And your machines were broken.
Yep.
And it ate my quarters. And then you
might not even care. And you might not even care.
Right.
Yeah.
But somehow it ends up, and I'm not mad at clients, right?
Yeah.
But like it ends up being our fault.
Yep.
Because I gave you guys $1,000 and I didn't make any money. And you go, well, I think we know why.
I'm using anecdotal data based on 15 years in the industry, thousands of conversations, but I would go so far as to say that when it comes to a professional digital marketing agency in the laundromat industry, I would argue that probably 60% of the industry, maybe 70%, has no business hiring us.
Yeah.
And I, as a coach, I will say that. As a co-founder of this company, I will say that. And I will say that definitively because you're getting distracted by marketing and thinking we can fix your problems. And no, what you may need is coaching or a workshop or to watch a podcast or whatever, right? Like go fix your core business. So one of the things we talk about at LaundroBoost is, and we talk about this at Queen City Laundry too, is we don't want every customer.
Yeah.
Like we don't, we want you to be ready.
Of services.
Yes, as you should.
But, I'm more of a vetting specialist.
Well, yeah.
Because people are like, all right, how can I help you? And they go, I want to start my commercial accounts.
Tell me how you're going to grow me.
I'm like, all right, well,
I was your sales service.
This is what it's going to take. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how long you're going to get. Oh, well, I thought it was going to be. And I said, no, I'm going to talk you out of that.
Yep.
You're not, in my opinion, based on your experience and expertise that I've been able to glean this knowledge. But I say, I don't think, how long have you been doing wash and fold before you start with pickup and delivery?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you do this and that? Because I know that works better. And I know that these things are there.
Yeah.
And you're not ready for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to take your money because I don't think it's going to succeed.
And I'll just say this. I'm not speaking to the industry. I'm just speaking to digital marketing companies in general. There are very few that operate that way. Any of them will take your money for 3 to 6 months. And if they don't get you results, they're like, well, I made money for 3 to 6 months. They don't like the churn. They'd rather you be successful, but they'll take the churn and they'll take your money. And that just isn't how we roll.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that leads to why we have like a 98% retention rate. Because like Eric vets these people, understands like we're not going to sell you something that we think that is not going to be successful based off of where you're at. A lot of people come through the door right now with a pickup and delivery dream in mind, right? That's a new hot service that everyone wants to offer. They come out right off the bat. I'm going to have a big pickup and delivery company, etc. But what they don't have already is like any foundation with their self-service or wash and fold. Maybe they're new. So we always encourage people like, hey, we know we can be successful with self-service and wash and fold right through the door. Let's grow those services first. You guys get your systems in place. You understand how the wash and fold works. We get you quick, easy, fast customers. Now you take that money that you generated over the first 3, 5, 6 months, and you can now invest those profits into your pickup and delivery, giving you a higher likelihood and a higher chance to be successful with pickup and delivery. If you just go into all in on everything and you're spreading your budget everywhere, so none of it's going to work. But like, we want to help you build your business the right way, right from the start. If that means that we don't make as much money because you're not paying us for any services, we don't care.
My goal is to make you money.
Yeah, we're retention. Like everyone hears me say it all the time: retention and customer service. Retention and customer service. Like, how can we? It's not about how many customers we can bring in; it's how many can we retain month over month. And I think that's why, honestly, LaundroBoost has been as successful as it is. Yeah, it's because like we genuinely, actually, swear on my life, care about your business more than we care about ours. Yep. And I've always felt like if we do that, there's no way that we can't be successful.
Would you like to make more money from your laundromat? Would you like those machines you're paying for to have more turns per day? Do you offer wash, dry, fold services or pickup and delivery laundry services? If not, would you like to? Whether you do or not, we have an amazing opportunity for you in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, you've probably heard about it, guys, but it's our wash, dry, fold, pickup and delivery workshop. And to answer your first question, yes, it is for drop-off laundry, wash, dry, fold, and pickup and delivery. So if you're doing any of those things, this workshop is going to help you tremendously. But the truth is, we were pretty so-so laundromat owners and so-so successful until we launched drop-off laundry and pickup and delivery. And being able to what I call optimize your laundromat to generate more profit and more revenue out of the existing facility, that's the key to taking your life from good to great, financially speaking, with laundromats. And that's what made us Laundromat Millionaires.
You don't have to just listen to us. Listen to what some of our past attendees have to say about our Wash, Dry, Fold, Pickup and Delivery workshop in Cincinnati, Ohio.
It was the best workshop I've attended in over 25 years. And what you guys have put together is nothing short of phenomenal. I think that you guys have put together both strategic and tactical systems that will make an individual who wants to own the laundromat profitable within months, not years.
Was the workshop worth the investment? Without a doubt, it was definitely worth the investment. So not only did we have 2 very packed days with Dave and Carla and their team, both in the classroom and touring the facilities, but we also came away with this extensive 100-page handbook. And then after the workshop was completed, I received a bunch of electronic performers and templates that we've been able to use since the workshop. Every day since the workshop, I've found myself referring back to either those electronic tools or the handbook that we received. So,
was it worth the investment? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I cannot say that enough. This was such a blessing, and I am so very grateful that Dave and Carla put this together and are sharing their knowledge and experience with others to have this to grow their business and to become more successful. Thank you, guys.
So are you interested? Go to laundromatmillionaire.com to learn more and see where you can register.
I'd like Eric to talk a little bit more about the sales call, because I think, just being a person going into a sales call to me is intimidating because I'm going to talk to a salesperson. I equate that with like going to a car dealership. You're going to try to like push stuff on me that I don't really want.
You jag on salespeople.
We deserve it. I used to be a dirty salesperson. I wasn't dirty. I was sweet. But yeah, no, your plaid jacket, your pinky is pink,
When Eric came in, I was thinking, all right, this is a completely different industry. We like these people. Play nice. Play nice. He's like, all right, okay. And then after a while, you get it. Like, oh yeah, like we're here to, we're getting the results. It's amazing. Yeah.
But I know you've touched on it a little bit where your sales calls are almost like, I almost equate them to almost like a coaching call. Like it's a lot of listening to them and coaching them. But another piece I'd like you to address as far as how sales calls go is the customizability you do for the client and the advice you give about what they should do, even beyond what marketing strategies, some things that they can even do on their own. Can you talk about how you handle your sales calls?
Yeah. I mean, like I said before about everything we do, you can do, right? And I tell that to everybody I talk to, plain and simple. And I want to show you what we could do and therefore what you could do. And say, you can pay me this much to do that, but that's what needs to be done if you want to boost your organic rank, for example. And in that sales call, so like even before the call, right, you're going to go onto our site, you're going to fill out a little submission, and it's going to ask you a couple questions about the name of your business, the address of your business, this, that, the other, and a couple things about what are you interested in, self-serve, watch the fold, Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever, That allows me and the team to do some homework before we even get on the call. So I'm going to run some heat maps. We're going to do a little bit of market research. We're going to find out what the area is. First of all, if we have anybody in that area already claimed that territory, in which case I can just peace be with you, and we don't even need to do this. But we're going to do some homework. We're going to do some research before we've even gotten on the call. So when you get on that first call, I'm going to usually start with that and say, here's where you land in your rank. Here's where you land.
You mentioned heat maps. I know we take for granted what a heat map is, and I did not know what it was until having a marketing company. Can you explain heat map?
So a heat map is a visual representation of your organic Google, in this case, Google rank.
Okay.
So organic just means not paid. Where do you naturally show up on Google? When someone looks for laundromat near us, right, there are 3 top results, the Google free. There are 20 other results, awesome, depending on your area and your market, right? But do you land as number 4 or number 1 or number 10, right? Because the goal of any marketing campaign, right, is to become more visible. Now the question, are they finding you or are they giving their money to someone else, right? So where do you organically show up? Now I'm going to show you a picture of that visual representation. Again,
so like where your store's at, maybe if someone's standing in your store searching it, you rank 1. Right. But if they walk, a half mile down the street, suddenly you're ranking 7. It's just got little numbers.
And this is absolutely. Okay. And it gives you this map, right? Where exactly what you said, where if you live here and Google laundromat near me, Queen City is showing up as number 2.
Yes.
But if you live 2 miles to the west of your store and somebody Googles laundromat near me, you're showing up as the 5th organic. Now, this is important information as raw data because people will Google this stuff on their own and go, oh, well, when I Google it, I show up. And I say, right. When you Google it, because you're the owner of your laundromat. And even
it's amazing. I mean,
when I'm across town, when I'm here, I live in California. When I'm here and I Google laundromat near me, I'm going to get results from my town.
Yes.
Because I've Googled that so many times and I've clicked on those things so many times that Google knows who I am. Right. So it's important to get the raw data. And I'm going to show you that raw data and say, look, this is where you're at. Yeah. Now, this is going to show me what we could do to get you more business. Right. This is showing, all right, Dave and Carla, you have reached this level of revenue that you're at right now based on this level of visibility. So imagine if we can make you more visible. That's good.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. So how do we do that? Well, that's search engine optimization. Right. Let's do some let's optimize your search engine presence. Let's make you more relevant on Google so that you show up in that top 3 because that's a long game. So maybe we shortcut that by just running some Google ads. Okay, great, Eric. Let's just do the Google ads. Well, Maybe we don't just do the Google ads, because look, as soon as you start running Google, like the second you run a Google ad, you are instantly the number one result.
Yeah.
But as soon as you stop running that Google ad, you're instantly back down to number 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would recommend at that point, let's set the foundation with this SEO work in the background, but let's also run the Google ads so we can get those instant wins.
Yeah.
And we're very good at what we do.
Yep.
Right. So this paid ad campaign is not only going to pay for itself, but it's also going to pay for your SEO work and still put, based on your profit margins, that's up to you as a business owner, right?
Yep.
But still put some profit in your pocket.
Yep.
Right. So, now we're growing on this. So then we can take that ad campaign and do a lateral shift in, let's just take that exact budget and turn that into a wash and fold budget. Next.
Yeah.
Let's roll that into, Brett, like you said, let's roll that into your pickup and delivery campaign.
Well, I know they always say pickup and delivery, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Click, or right?
It takes longer.
You can kind of build your business with the self-serve, which is cheaper, the cost per click, but then the pickup and delivery gets worse.
But like on that call, right? Before the call's even begun, we've started doing some homework on the base level and thinking about what I might be recommending. And then on that call, I want to get more info. My job, plain and simple, and I say this to everyone I talk to. So if you've talked to me before, my job is to find out where you are as a business and where you want to be as a business.
Yeah.
I want to find that information. I'm then going to take all that information back to our team. We are going to come up with a plan to get you from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And that on that second call, then after we've done more homework, we're going to go over that exact plan to get you from where you are to where you want to be. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how long it's going to take. This is when you can expect a return, right? Like that's there. But on that first call, let's talk about the strategies.
Yeah.
Like I said, let's talk about the long-term SEO and the quick Google ads. But okay, I want to focus on pickup and delivery. Well, okay, then we need to be proactive on our social media, and this is how that works.
Yeah, you got to learn more about like kind of where they're at right off the bat. Then you actually adjust it like the platform there.
Yeah. So let's go over strategies. Let's go over services. Let's go over pricing. Eric, what about geofencing? Oh, good question. Let's talk geofencing. All right, now imagine a map and draw fence, and we're going to hit a little tracking cookie right on that GPS-enabled device. So we're going to show that phone ads.
Yeah.
And this is how it works. Let's talk about that on that call. That's it's not sales.
Yeah, I love that. It's more of like coaching.
It's
coaching
just
with
mutual
how they
education.
Yeah.
And I will point out, because I've said it several times, we use multiple marketing agencies before we founded LaundroBoost, 6 to 7. I forget the exact number. I can tell you that none of them approached it that way. Some were in the industry, specialists in the industry, no longer in the industry. Some of them were in the industry and they're still in the industry. Some of them were outside the industry that weren't specialists in this industry. So we personally kind of run the gamut. So,
Well, and like I said, I would rather not do business with you than take your money and fail.
Yeah.
So if you say, I only want to do pickup and delivery, and I'll say, okay, the only way I'm going to take you on as a client is if you agree to allow us to do this and this and this and this, and this is how much it's going to cost.
Yep.
And if you want to shortcut that, then no thanks. I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's going to be as successful as you want it to be. Look, it starts from a couple $100, right? We're not, all of this stuff that I've been talking about sounds very expensive. Right? But
great point.
We know, because as laundromat owners, right? You can't be spending thousands of dollars, especially to start. Give me a couple $100. Let us show you what we can do. And we'll turn that into a couple hundred. Look, you want to give me a couple thousand? Great. We'll 10x that. We'll turn that into thousands more. And your pickup and delivery has the highest ceiling, but also has the highest cost per acquisition, the highest starting point. But give me a couple $100. Let us see what we can do. Contact me today. Get your personalized quote.
I know we want to talk about AI, so we got to let Eric go in a minute, but I will say this. One of the things I've always said is if the technology exists, you can fight it. Or if you're a business owner, you can use it to your benefit.
Embrace.
But if you think your competitors aren't using it, you're crazy. They might not be using it today because they don't know about it or they can't afford it. But the day will come where they will learn about it. They will have the budget for it, and they will come to us. And so that's why we always say, first come, first serve.
You either get ahead or you catch up.
Yeah.
The first one to move is going to be the leader in your
market.
Yeah. And Eric and I kind of talked about this today. I was like, how often are you getting calls where we've got to turn people down due to like, we already having clients in that area? And he said it's more and more every day. So we are actually kind of getting to that point. And that wasn't the case before. I was like, everyone that came through the door, like we could service. And now we're starting to see the shift where it's like, we already have people in these areas and there's still plenty of opportunity out there. Trust me. But it is happening.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, man. I didn't see your first plane show. Thank you for joining us. So if we bored you with the Google ads and the website SEO and all that stuff, shame on us.
Yeah.
But if we have, now we're going to talk about something pretty fun, pretty cool, pretty innovative with AI.
Yeah. And I will say before Eric leaves, like he's been such an amazing addition to the business. Like more than just sales, just like, comes from obviously a business background and understands marketing, but many other things. And we have a lot of like really great conversations just about the company and how we're running things and on like pretty high level things that are going to only help the customer base. Your commitment to like LaundroBoost and like what you do has been incredible. And like, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. So,
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Appreciate you, man.
I want to get on the team.
That's why I got the LaundroBoost tattoo. No.
Brett, let's shift gears. We're going to have another guest come in pretty soon.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears into this AI stuff. How big you want to get this baby? What we want to do? What are the possibilities? We're rolling out some foundational things at the Clean Show that are already happening.
Yeah.
And then we're rolling out some bigger things that are happening in the background that aren't necessarily available in live yet.
Yeah.
But are coming soon.
I think the bigger question right now is, I think some people think they don't need a marketing company because AI is going to do it for them.
Good point.
So in order to do that, you're going to need the AI setup right at least. And like that's kind of where we come in as well, right? So like, we have a ton of
Come on in, James.
how many AI tools do we want to talk about today? Because I'm going to actually talk forever. But how you doing, Jim? So like on our AI front right now, obviously like we have the call center, which is going to help you like kind of streamline your operations and do the customer service side of things. But there's so much more than that. Like I know we've talked about that. Like, that's something that's been out, available. Everyone understands it for the most part. Pretty straightforward. But there's so many other things like in the AI world right now that are still coming to the market. We've actually kind of built internally and currently are beta testing with clients that will be like ready to go right around the corner here. And those are things that like actually help to like manage your business, just kind of like essentially make you operate on like a higher level. So things like even like customer inquiries when they're emailing in, before you used to have someone who would email back or whoever that may be. Maybe it's someone who doesn't fully understand your business, will pick up and delivery or so on. Well, now what we can do is train essentially like an email agent. We call it like a concierge, where if anyone's inbounding emails or anything to your business, or even texts or through your website, whatever it may be, questions about anything, you can now have AI respond just as if it was a human, the highest level employee you could ever imagine, right? Yeah, sorry, yes. Wow. So that's kind of where we're at now. And then, but other things like research tools, right? Like we have AI research tools. The question that we get a lot is like, what are my competitors doing? Who are my competitors, etc. Before, like you used to be able to scrape a map and get like a little bit of information about that specific competitor. But now what we can do is actually have like an AI agent that essentially can run, it could be scraping information about every single competitor you have in that city every single day, every single hour, right? So you can be pulling real-time data about your customers regarding like their advertising, what keywords they're using, where they're looking, if they're discounting their services, where they're offering their services, and you're getting this information kind of time in like all the time. And then you can make like business decisions based off of what's happening in your market. Other things like we'll just kind of stop at this point after this. But basically we have AI agents that are like trained to be like the best of the best Facebook advertising professionals do, right? So they're also scraping all your competitors' ads and figuring out what they're running, what their promotions look like, etc. Bringing that information back to our real live Facebook ads manager so that they can make good use of that and actually making suggestions to us and say, hey, change this on your ad or toggle this or update this budget or switch out this discount or whatever it may be. all based off of what's actually happening in real time. So not only are we running the ads, manipulating, doing everything on like the back end like we're supposed to, but we're acquiring data from like everywhere that we can utilize to be even better than that human who's running your account would have ever been, based off of fresh data on the spot.
So this might be a little controversial, but doesn't like Google have like you can run your own ads and they're supposed to be AI or something? Like they help you run your ads. Why should they use LaundroBoost instead of like Google AI ads?
So the thing is Google wants to make money.
Yes.
They know that if you're spending money on their platform and you're getting some results, you'll probably and you don't know what you're doing necessarily, you'll keep spending money, and they're wanting you to spend that money as fast as possible. So they'll be putting that money down and bidding on things that are kind of relevant, but not totally relevant. You might want to be running like wash and fold ads, and you start like what it's called, like a smart campaign, the way you're talking about it. And all it's going to do is target like laundromat near me and laundry service. And these are all words that bring in business, but they're not specific to wash and fold, right? And they're spending and they're trying to get you out there as much as possible to eat up that budget. So that's like a big issue. So you need people actually manually running these ads with proper structure to make sure that every dime or every penny is going to where you want it to go. Because if you leave it up to Google to spend your money for you, it's in their best interest to spend it as fast as they can, no matter where it goes, you know? So you have to be really careful with that.
So James, you pretty much live full time in an AI world, right?
This is actually be out of stupid.
Like, this is what the world looks like. Oh my God.
It's changed a lot. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? And I feel like all these things are popping up with these AI services. Is it easy for just like a common person to do instead of, what do you see for the future of marketing with AI? I guess would be my question.
I suppose for me, I see it as, it just makes me and the team just so more efficient. So much more efficient all day. What would take me hours to research, explain research? What would take hours to go and physically research, go to a rabbit warren of ideas? We have the assistant come out, go and do that and come back to us in minutes, give us a summary, and then we can either take that summary. It gives us a better decision-making process. We can take that summary and trust it, or we can actually check that and then go and just explore it a little bit deeper, depending on your levels of control. I like to have far more control over AI than I like to verify before it goes out. But it just makes me more efficient and it makes the team more efficient. You still need to know, you still have to have the skills behind it to know that what its output is any good. But what it does give is our ads managers the ability to have it in real time and what's working in the market currently, if there's been any fundamental changes, and any of Google updates or Facebook or Meta's updates to algorithms, that we are alerted that something's happened. I can't say efficient enough, but it does make us far more efficient than we do.
So now we're marketing experts, but marketing experts with the power of AI, making us more efficient and just better at our jobs.
Yeah.
And do you think it'll bring prices down too?
It depends which way you look at it. Initially, right now, the way things are set, you know, like they're, especially for us, like we're investing the front end money to build out these solutions for the Laundromat owner to get these agents, like the 20 plus agents we have right now that we're ready to roll out to Laundromats. Like it would cost far too much money for it to make sense for that individual owner. We kind of talked about that with the marketing professionals too. But because we're building it for you and have them set, ready to go and organize, it makes it very easy for us to roll this out to like our whole customer base. So that will actually bring the costs down like substantially when it comes to that.
As customers, we'll be able to afford a better product.
Yes.
And we will be able to get with just our dollars on it.
And then on the operational side, right? Like you have to think like, what are you typically paying like a human to do that role initially? So that's like a hourly salary, etc., payroll, and so on, where you can probably find an AI solution to do that role for you. Not even close to that. Like, you know, you're still within the hundreds of dollars, but you're not within the thousands a month. You can run a lot leaner because those tasks that are kind of, you know, fingers to keyboard are now automated. And then the people who used to spend time doing that are now on the floor actually caring about their customers. So now you don't need as many people on the floor because you bought back that time. So I think it's like if although there is a cost associated with it, it's actually a money saving. And
Well, and let's be honest, guys, we're bringing AI and LaundroBoost, we're bringing it into the industry. That's not a light lift, right? That's a heavy lift. It's a lot of work on the back end that probably, I think it's fair to say, no laundromat owner would do on their own, right? To be able to build not just one of the AI tools, but the AI platform, the agentic AI that we talk about to the industry. There's a lot of back end work for the AI to understand the nuances of the industry, which we have to teach it for it to understand and then to tweak it. But why are we doing this? Well, because this is the future and the present of the laundromat industry. AI isn't going away, but it's a tool, right? I think it's fair to say, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't do it for you, it does it with you, but it compounds your team, and it's a tool that we can put in our tool belt that's probably more powerful than any tool we've ever had. But you're not going to do that yourself, most likely, unless you own thousands of laundromats or something like that. Right? So, you guys, before you got into the industry, as recently as like 5-10 years ago, our industry was known for almost being laughed at and comical when it came to technology, which I'll put AI in the pocket in the category of technology. And the main reason why is there weren't companies out there willing to make investments like this in the infrastructure that were nuanced on the laundromat industry. And let's be honest, a part of the reason they weren't well, probably the whole reason they weren't really willing to do that is there wasn't a financial return on investment, right? Well, one of the things we're doing at LaundroBoost, the reason we created LaundroBoost, is when new technologies come out and when things like powerful AI and agentic AI, and not just individual products, we're willing to make that investment and hiring people like James to run entire AI departments on behalf of LaundroBoost so that we can bring you that fractional CFO that I talked about earlier. And does it make sense for us to do it for just Queen City Laundry? No, probably would never make sense. But with LaundroBoost makes the investment and divides it by the way, you mentioned like a few hundred customers. That's actually like closer to 400 or 500 actual locations, laundromats, right? And so if we can bring that to 100 of our 200 customers, yes, we're a business. We can make a return on investment on that and elevate the industry and give you a better product and service than you've ever had before. So that's really like the high level 30,000 foot view of what we're doing. And what I would tell you is if you have a marketing company that doesn't specialize in the laundromat industry, they can't do that. I would feel comfortable saying that because they don't understand the nuances of the industry. So I'm going to step off of my soapbox now and just let that like marinate a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's accelerating. If I look at where we were 6 months ago when we started the bot, well, it's 8 months ago now with the bot, versus the AI call center versus where we are now with it. Now it's built in to do outreach. So in terms of, say, you're a dry cleaner, it can actually remind your customers they've got products waiting, but the stock's there. Any of the distributors, it can actually become a bit of a gatekeeper for your sales team, so you're not taking your time. And that's just been in the last few months. It's gone from there. So if you're not keeping up, within the next 6 to 12 months, you're going to be so far behind. You're going to you have to spend a lot more even playing catch up. Remaining so it's exciting times. I'm getting more grey hair by the day. Once I start doing it, it's but it's fun. And there's so many tools and developments taking place that how this is looking now is going to be very different in 12 months. The advancements of the output, but also the efficiency that we can do with the products and services and the additional agents we're assistants looking at. It's exciting. It's nice to be on the cutting edge, particularly in this industry, almost on a weekly basis. Like, we swap this tool out, we swap this one out. Should we be using this? And it's changing and evolving so quickly that a conversation we have 5 minutes ago is going to be in the product in a week.
It's just getting better and better and better and better. Like we've had discussions here today. Like we can also build custom solutions. We have these ready to go for you. But there's been a couple conversations today where people will tell us about their business and we'll ask them like, where are the bottlenecks, where are the issues, and they tell us the issue, and we're like, AI. Not only will that make it way more efficient, but it's going to save your team way more time, and your customers can enjoy it more because they did get the answers they need faster. Things can get done much faster. That goes from like distributors all the way through to like budget bad owners.
I think it's safe to say the sky is the limit, right? Like the things we know we are building right now and have built are just the low-lying fruit, probably, I would assume. But the things that, what we want you to do is get out of this to understand that we are making this investment in the industry because it's what our commitment is to elevating the industry. Hopefully we gave you a little bit of insight into what the Clean Show is like. So in 2 years, when we have our next Clean Show, you'll want to make sure that you can come and engage us and all the other vendors at these booths. But in the meantime, we're just continuing to sign clients every day. So once again, supply and demand, reach out to us, get a quote, get a call with Eric, get a call with Brett, and let's see if we can start helping you in your business today. James, thanks for joining us. Thanks, I appreciate it. Brett, as always, we're going to free you up. I know we're getting a big crowd around the booth here. All right, until next time, we'll see you guys. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
This is the end of this episode, sponsored by HM Company at DrainTroughs.com. We'll see you next time.